how do I introduce lower cost, more performant networks in the future? What can I do to have a software base that will allow me to be future proofed but present ready? And I think Sonic is a very good technology for that. The issues are, how do you build technologies that work with what you have, but can also work with what you need to build in the future? And that's where infrastructure technologies that are well architected or well positioned, I think, can do really well.
How do I start? Where do I start? Hello, everyone, and welcome to Aviz Networks Podcast Series. My name is Ilona Gabinsky, and today I'm very happy to be joined by a very special guest, Ammar Hanafi. Ammar has a tremendous experience from leading business development at Cisco and co-founding Moment Ventures and helping some of the most innovative companies grow in AI, SaaS, and infrastructure space. Ammar joined our Aviz board in 2022 and bring this unique perspective at the intersection of networking and venture. Ammar, it's a real pleasure to have you here today, and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, Ammar, you had a very impressive journey. What pulled you for the first time into venture capital, and what keeps you so exciting to be there after so many years?
Yeah. Well, it's again, that's a great question to start with, because I think it links also, as we'll talk about, Aviz. What I like is when you can combine talent and market opportunity to build a great business in the technology industry, because technology is always changing. There's many new ideas, new ways to do things, and that is often because we're such technology has become so central to society. It's a big market as well. But what's exciting about venture is picking talent and finding talent that can go capture that opportunity. That's why I joined the venture industry.
Yeah, and is there something that keeps you super excited?
Well, it's interesting because one of the things about venture is that you are always trying to think about what's coming. So sometimes there are down cycles when the world doesn't seem to be changing much in technology. But as anybody who's had a career in technology in the last few decades, you can see that there's been cycles of innovation that always show up. And it's been very exciting, particularly right now with AI. I think it's a very exciting time in terms of how the whole model of computing is changing before our eyes, and that's very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. So bringing it back to Avis, as you mentioned, of course, you joined our board in 2022. So what was that special thing? Is it a team or a technology or vision that really brought your attention?
Yeah, I think one thing that was the thing that happens when you meet a new opportunity for the first time is you spend a lot of time learning about it, but what really is the hook that always gets you for the first time is the talent across the table. And when I met Vishal for the first time and heard from him about what was happening in the industry and the technology base and how he was thinking of building the company, that was really what continued to pull me into the business. So it's that combination of the market, technology, and talent. But really, the first thing that has to work very well is the talent and the leadership.
Yeah, this is great. But and from your perspective, what makes Avis stand out?
Yeah.
And compared to others in the networking industry?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, I think there's the technology stack that it is built on. Sonic seemed to be just the right time for the market, right market technology meeting the right market opportunity. The support it already had when I invested in 2022 from Microsoft and other vendors was clear. So I think that was very exciting. And then the ability that Vishal had to catalyze people's interest in the technology into movement, into momentum, into partnerships was very exciting. Those were sort of some of the things. Again, the talent of the individuals, the momentum in the business, and then the underlying fundamental technology as well.
Yeah, this is great. Amar, thank you very much for sharing that. So I have a few questions in general on industry and future trends that's happening right now in the market, and wanted to hear what your thoughts about it. So where do you see the most interesting changes happening in the next 3 to 5 years in industry as a whole? I know you invested in AI, SaaS, and infrastructure, a lot of different companies. So where do you see the most interesting changes?
Well, I mean, it's right now. It is such. it's so easy to talk about the headline trend, which is AI, right? Because it is impacting, and the reason why is because it's impacting every aspect of technology. The spending is very large, the customer and consumer interest is very high because the value is high. So that is going to be playing out in every part of the business, in how people build their infrastructure, in how people then make it usable, and then the applications they build. So I'm spending a lot of time thinking through the implications of that, particularly with my background in infrastructure. The issues are, how do you build uh, technologies that work with what you have, but can also work with what you need to build in the future. And that's where infrastructure technologies that are well architected or well positioned, I think, can do really well. I think Sonic is one of those technologies, for example.
Right, definitely. And you know what we've been seeing in the market happening? Yes, there is, of course, obviously, AI trend is happening, and everybody understands that AI is here. But most people have still this question: How do I start? Where do I start?
Yeah.
So we've been, from our own perspective, because we have Sonic, and we help build networks for AI, and as well as our product network Copilot introduce AI into networks to really educate people how they can start easily with AI, with for their specific use cases.
And the interesting thing is, with the technology like Sonic, you can also, as you think about just modernizing your infrastructure, it's a great future-proof technology to build on as well. So even if your use cases today are not about AI, but you're thinking about how do I introduce lower cost, more performant networks in the future, what can I do to have a software base that will allow me to be future-proofed but
Right.
present ready? And I think Sonic is very good technology for that.
Yeah, definitely. And you kind of, Amar, answered my next question. My next question was, from your vantage point, where do you see Avius and how do you see us contributing in the open and AI ready infrastructure?
I think one of the things that's really been extraordinary to be part of this journey with the company is how strong the execution has been in all layers of the products that the team is building at Aviz, right? So you have the pure Sonic enablement and performance and deployment technologies, and you have technologies that are built on top of that to make Sonic networks usable, and then you're building more applications on top of that for Network Copilot, as well as a deep network observability. All of those applications are have their own individual market opportunities, but they reinforce each other so that when a customer comes to us to partner, they have the chance to buy what they need today, but know that they're buying with a company and a technology stack that can allow them to fulfill all their needs in the future. And I think that's what's really exciting about the business and the execution we have today. Uh, Obviously, lots to do still and lots of future ahead of us. But I think the core components of a very robust business and networking infrastructure is there at Aviz, and I think that's what we're building.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And we do see a lot of interest
Yeah.
from Fortune 500 enterprises to smaller enterprises as well. We do see a lot of interest across our whole stack, starting from Sonic and, as you mentioned, observability and AI. People are really want to learn more how they can, where they can save, how they can make their infrastructure future proof and, upgrade without major budget spikes.
And I think the nice thing is with the portfolio and the experience inside the team, the, the customer can meet the technology where it's best for them. And Avis can be a partner to help make that happen. If you are a smaller company that's looking to try a new network technology, or you're trying to lower your costs, or you're a Fortune 50 company that's trying to think about future proofing their entire infrastructure, those are all options. So I think the key is for us as a team to really meet our customers where they are, help them on their journeys, and help them be their partner of choice as they build out their next generation infrastructure.
Absolutely. Now, yes, thank you for bringing all this up. I just have a few more questions, and more on the fun part. So, if you weren't into venture capital, what do you think you would do instead?
Well, that's a fun question. This will sound a little bit from left field, but what I would love to do is do sports commentary. I think sports are a fantastic thing. I think they make all of us healthier and happier. And I like working with words. So I think that would be kind of fun. I would urge you to watch a sports event without commentary, and I don't think it's as much fun. So a good commentator makes it lots of fun. So I always like that aspect of it. And I like
That's
sports.
very interesting. I never knew about that. So, what sport do you think you
I spent a lot of time with football, soccer, and then that would probably be my first one. And then the second one would be probably more obscure, would be cricket. Maybe not obscure, but not all over the world. But those were the two sports I would love to commentate on. If
Oh, wow, that would be so awesome. I love actually socks, listening to soccer comedy, just especially when there is a soccer Europe or World Cup, Europe Cup or World Cup happening.
exactly.
These are the best.
And those are incredible events because there's such a place where the world comes together. There's sporting competition, it's talent from all over the world. It's fun for me. I enjoy that.
So, do you think you would want to try that one day?
Who knows? Maybe. I mean, if somebody gives you the opportunity, I'd be happy to step into the booth.
Okay, awesome. This is great. And one final question. What is one book, habit, podcast, video show you would recommend to every new entrepreneur or every founder?
Well, look, I mean, it's very hard. We're all different as human beings. We have different interests and different things we like to do. One of the things I've been paying more attention to is my health, and I've been lifting weights. Which, if you had asked me 5 years ago in my life if I would be lifting weights as a habit, I would have looked at you very funny because it's something I've never done in my life. So that's something that I've picked up. But I think everybody should find some ways to keep their mental health in good place.
Awesome. Yeah, this is great. Amar, thank you very much for joining the podcast. It's been really a pleasure. Is there anything else you would like to add? Some last thing, few last things for the audience?
I think the one I would say is for professionals in any industry, it's always exciting to be working on problems that are relevant not just today, but also build your skill sets and build your company and your business's infrastructure for the future. And I think Sonic and Aviz is a great opportunity as a partner for customers like that. I just think it's nice to be able to look back on one's career and realize that you helped build something for the future.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for sharing your great experiences and knowledge, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.